I'm just really struggling on tank. Like I think I'm struggling to like understand like what I'm supposed to do on tank. Like when I play support, which is normally my main role, um, I feel like if we lose a fight or like I'm not doing playing well enough, I understand that. But when I'm on tank, like I don't know why stuff goes wrong or what I could have done better a lot of the time.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah, that's something that I hear
so
commonly. Yeah. Yeah. Go on.
mm, no, like I watched your Hazard video. I'm trying to learn Hazard because he's a lot of fun and I know he's good. Um, but and like I took notes from it and stuff. But like I think there was just like I need to work on everything right now because I'm bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I'm trying. I tried picking out a couple things to like work on,
All right.
and I'm just not sure if I'm working on like the right things. Like I'm trying to. So I basically decided to get coaching because I'm a little confused on what I'm supposed to be doing as tank in general and what I'm doing wrong, but also hopefully you can like point out um, like a couple things that you think I need to work on most, like so that I can like get better value for my time when I'm like trying to work on stuff because there's so many things I could pick to work on. Um, I'm not sure which of them is like most important for me right now.
Yeah, yeah. It's something that I hear, or something that I see a lot in this kind of elo, where there's like missed, I call these like missed opportunities, basically, where you won't necessarily be feeding, but you'll be missing things that are, again, a high level player would actually point out and do. So maybe for
Hmm.
an example here, you see this Tourbillon take an angle, and you ignore him taking an angle, and then again, a better tank player might have just leapt onto him and gone for the one-shot kill, or gone to mark out the Tourbillon and try and force him out. There'll be missed
Hmm.
opportunities like that, and I'm guessing throughout the entire VOD too, there will be plenty of opportunities where you can actually leap onto any of these targets here, Mercy included, and try and
Hmm.
look for the one-shot kill. Especially considering, and honestly, I probably should have asked you this as well. What do you think? What are your advantages against as Hazard when you're playing against comp, right? So I guess what are your strengths on the character? What does this comp lack when you see it? And how can you exploit that?
Uh, I'm gonna have a big advantage playing height and verticality because the only people that can do that are Life Weaver. I guess if they use pedal platform, but for the most part, I can use verticality a lot better than them.
Right. So that's a big part of it. Is again that your verticality. There's also just in general your mobility. So verticality is a part of that. But also, and this is again something that's mentioned in the guide too, is taking these positions that are really really hard for the enemy team to clear you out. Now it's kind of hard to show
Hmm.
this without going through a fight here. So you might again it'll be better to show
Hmm.
this sort of visually. But if you can literally be, I assume they're gonna hold probably on this high ground here somewhere. You can literally be again underneath them. You can be somewhere here, somewhere
Hmm.
flanking like this, and they just can't force you out. They haven't got the mobility to do
Yeah,
so, and that's really important that you
aggressive
exploit
but
that.
safe. Yeah.
Exactly right. So we'll see how that ends up panning out here as well. There's also, of course, the one shot combo as I just mentioned. Right, that's something that you're going to be looking to do quite a few times. The wall is also really important, but even in like masters and to be honest, even in GM, people still don't get full use out of their wall. So really, I'm mainly looking for two things at the wall at this sort of level. Either looking to enable your one-shot kill, so you can maybe split off a target, maybe cut off a retreat path, maybe you wall behind a Mei and you go for the one-shot, or you just again you look to finish off targets. So maybe this Mercy's really really low, you try and pop the wall, close to where she's at, and then you try and finish her off when she's low HP. Those are the main two uses that I'll be seeing of it. Of course,
Yeah.
there'll also be defensive uses of it too, which I'm sure we'll
Yeah,
talk
there's
about.
going to be a lot of whiffed one-shot combos. Mechanics aren't there yet. Still working on it, but
Right. Which is
I
fine.
suppose if as long as I'm like trying to go on the correct targets for the one-shot combo, I suppose that's what I
Right.
need to work on from like a tactical standpoint.
Right. Again, mechanics of this sort of elo, like believe it, like of course there'll be times where you will just miss the most obvious kill, and that can lead to a fight
Yeah.
loss. But again,
Mhm.
95% of the time, the mechanics won't be the issue. It'll be other things around your play that again you'll be missing
Yeah,
out
for
on.
sure.
So we'll see how this goes out here.
Yeah.
And yeah, last thing to note is again block usage, which again we'll get into. But tons of hazards just kind of waste their block, and in other words, they end up using it when they can't aim or hit their shots, and because of that, they end up not having block for when they actually need it to absorb a lot of aggression. So I'm only wanting you to use block to again finish off targets that are really low. Not again just using it because you can't shoot your gun or whatever. You'll see how it pans out here. Okay. Alright. There'll probably be some general tank fundamentals here too that again we'll go through.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But yeah. Okay. Let's see here.
Like yeah, general tank fundamentals or hazard specific stuff. Whatever you see is like, you know, my most immediate need to work on things is kind of what I'm looking for.
Right. So we'll see here. Okay, top standing still, dies, okay. Okay. So, I mean, this is just micro, to be honest here. So, you can actually leap past Orisa during, when using your spear. Not spear, sorry, using your leap, to avoid a goal. You can just leap past her. Yeah, that's something nice to note. You won't get body blocked by her if you do your leap animation. So I would just leap past the enemy, Orisa right now, then try and deny the res. Instead of, again, this is what I like to call front to backing, where you just match the enemy tank. And this is actually really, really common in this elo, where tanks or players will just front to back for basically no reason. You really do not want to be matching an Orisa. And even if you are playing like someone like Zarya, who you've got a good frontline matchup into Orisa for, you're not always wanting to just beam the enemy Orisa. Of course, you can shoot her at the beginning of fights, that's fine. I'm really looking for you to try and get onto these targets. And again, I would expect I better hazard here to leap past the Orisa and try and reach the enemy Mercy, maybe wall her off to deny the res, something like that. Whereas here again, you're front to backing, you're trying to just match the enemy Orisa and go through her, by again just matching her on the front line. A slight thing there. Hopefully you don't see too much of it here. Okay.
There'll probably be some.
Yeah, probably. Okay, at least she dies there. What was the intention behind this wall? So why wall this?
I thought like people show up there like the Torb, and I was like, you know, section them off and like focus, you know, I don't know, just split their team, I guess.
Why would you phrase it here? Can you mark Torb on this angle?
Sure.
Right, can you dual Torb safely?
Yeah.
Yes, you can, right? So you don't actually need to be wasting wall for this. You can just walk up forward here.
Right.
You can, again, wall him off, so maybe, again, this guy walks forward to duel you. You can wall him off behind you, or again, just wall him off in general. And then, again, he'll get booped towards you. You get the damage too, and you'll just win the duel straight up, right? Like, you're actually fairly safe here. You don't need to be zoning off the enemy Torb here, right? Not to mention, you're also a man up, right? So Torb got res, obviously, right? But you killed the Orisa. You're 5v4. You're a man up, right? So you're fine to push this. Now, this is just general tank fundamentals here. This is what I like to call the difference between, I guess, soft engaging versus hard engaging.
Right.
There's a few, I guess, triggers. And this is actually my Doomfist guide, and Doomfist is fairly similar to Hazard. This is most
you had it in your Hazard guide as well.
Probably, yeah, probably. And this is where it comes into play, where you've got a numbers advantage, because Orisa is dead. Orisa... I would count this as a HP advantage too, because you're a tank and you've got more HP than Torbjorn, so you can actually win that duel entirely. Positional, pretty null, but you can get a positional one with your wall, so that's fine. And I'm pretty sure, if I'm not tripping, pretty sure he's already used Overload. Yeah, he's popped it right now, and he's actually 300 HP, so he hasn't got Overload to just pop it and then live through your engagement, so you can actually go for the kill.
Yeah, no chance I would have caught that, you know, he'd already used Overload, but the other thing is reasonably, yeah.
Right. Overload, again, those things that will come down to awareness, so like Torbjorn makes like a sound, like a like a clocking sound whenever he activates Overload, so just picking up on those small things there. But yeah, of course, visually are the big cues that I'm looking for, or that you can most easily identify. So yeah. Okay, we'll see here. Again, nothing like a crazy mistake. You're probably gonna win this first fight here because this is just dead. But again,
yeah,
it's like
the game starts pretty well, and then we kind of get stalled out on third point, and then defense goes kind of poorly.
Alright, that'll be interesting. Okay. So why didn't you leap towards the Weaver here?
Great question. No answer. Should have.
Right, so this is the key thing, right? You're 2 people up at the moment. You're 5v3. You're full HP right now. you've got full block. Like, no one's gonna punish you for this. Like, you can leap at the Weaver and go kill him. And again, I assume this is going to be a broader, I guess, microcosm for how you play the character. Where, of course, in this fight, where you'll obviously won this fight, right? But in other fights where things are going to be a lot closer, is these missed opportunities that you'll again just miss are going to be the difference between winning and losing fights. So not leaping onto the Weaver there, bit of a missed opportunity. Especially when you get that fast perk that gives you what, like 50% damage on, like, extra damage on your slash for targets that are above 250 HP, something like that. Like, all these targets here have above 250 HP on the get-go. Like, just stock, they have over 250 HP. So it's really important, and again, with that perk, you're able to, like, look for these skills. Because you can really punish these targets.
Okay. I do think I took the other perk, but you would generally recommend the slash one?
Okay, why slash better here?
Well, because they have a bunch of characters that have more than 250 HP.
Right, so 3 characters with more than 250 HP. If you're playing against the comp, like Genji or Genji Tracer, right, for example, or maybe Freya Tracer, which is actually very common at the moment, I would not pick it. I would just pick the other perk, the block perk. Do you actually pick the block perk here?
Yes.
Yes. Right, so, I mean, I guess the
I believe. I could be misremembering.
Okay, we'll see when we get to it.
We'll see.
Okay. See here, of course, fun mechanics on the pedestal, but again, just a dominoes thing that had you chased the Weaver earlier, that wouldn't be a concern. Okay, what could you do against the Weaver here?
Wall him off.
Yes, right. Wall him off right here. Block his retreat path and then chase him, right? Again, small thing. Again, this will come later, right? But again, like these sort of like how do I phrase it? Like having the ability to map the enemy team's like retreat paths is really important. I wouldn't even mind you just walling this, to be honest, because it's actually fairly common for people to retreat down here. I wouldn't have even minded that. But yeah. Okay, let's see here. Okay, kill, fine. Alright. Hopefully things get a little bit more interesting this next fight.
I think the fights, the first 2 points are pretty easy.
Okay.
And then
I mean, what do you think? What do you think about your position here, just to begin with?
I think my position is okay. Because I can easily get on one of their squishies.
Yeah, I mean, I actually think it's pretty good, right? I actually think it's pretty good. You can aggress into the Mei. You can't really get forced out here. You're controlling high ground. You've got the ability to go into the Mercy. You can see everything. Yeah, I'm happy with this position. I actually like it so far. I wouldn't have minded other places you could play. You could maybe play here, but again, your LOS is limited. You can maybe play a little bit more aggressively here if you feel like no one's coming down this right side pathway. Yeah, I actually think what you're playing right now is more than reasonable. When I coach ball players as well, ball players will like hang over here, just in the with the grapple. So again, similar kind of thing. But yeah, I'm actually pretty happy with where you're standing. And the wall is also pretty good because it blocks off this guy. Yes, it blocks off the Weaver coming through. So again, I like the wall. I've got no complaints so far. It's like pretty good. Doing's fine. Leap's good. Nice. No complaints. Okay. What I do start getting complaints though is the block, right? So
too much block.
Yeah, the blocking there's fine. Like to finish the kill, I'm okay with that, more than reasonable. Where should you be looking at right now? What should you? Okay,
Mercy.
Mercy, right? I guess like in hindsight, that might be easy to say. But now is like, and this is really important, especially at high level play. There's this term that people like using, or some coaches like using, which is like called regaining awareness. Where now you've done like the typical hazard thing. You've done your one-shot engagement. You've punished a target that is again the Mei was in open space. You were 2 people up. The wall was a great trigger. Like that was a great hard engage there, and that was well deserved. So I've got no complaints there. But now you've done your job. You need to regain awareness and look around you. Right? I've got no idea where the enemy Weaver is. Maybe the Weaver's actually killable. Right? Maybe if you turn around, you can actually leap onto him and go for the kill, right? Maybe he breaks this wall, maybe he goes through here instead, maybe he petals up and goes through here instead, right? I don't know, right? Which is why this is important to just regain awareness in this sort of mid-fight here after you kill the Mei. Now, how would you regain awareness here on hazards? What could you do?
Look around, block and look around.
Yeah, look around. What else?
Climb the high ground.
Yes, right. Why is climbing here good?
high ground's always good.
Why is it good here? How does your
Because
vision
Orisa
change?
can't get onto me and I can see,
Yeah,
better.
exactly, right. So again, I wasn't even thinking about the Arista necessarily, right? But that's actually a good point. Arista can't front to back you. She can't spear you. You avoid her entirely. That's a good point. And again, you keep that aggressive but safe positioning. You can also just see more. Like you can visually see the Mercy. You can see anyone coming here. You can probably see anyone coming to your right side as well in your peripheral vision. You just have more vision. You can see everything, and that's how you regain awareness.
Yep.
It's something that I tell flex support players too. Or even main support players as well when they're playing the flankers, right? The wider your FOV, the more you can see. And again, to get a wider FOV, you play further back, you play on high grounds, and you can just see more naturally. Whereas again here, you probably have no idea about the Mercy. You're probably tunneled on the Orisa here, and you've got no idea about
Yeah.
where anyone else is. Of
Yeah.
course, block here is not great. And that's kind of what I mentioned there at the beginning, where now you've sort of exhausted all your block, where, who knows, right? Maybe again when the Pharah aggressors onto you, maybe when the Orisa aggressors onto you, that's when you need the block. But yeah. Makes you do good Mercy eventually, which is good. Okay. And again, like, we're blocking nothing, you know?
I think I have a bad habit of like when I'm kind of lost and not sure like what's going on around me, I
Right,
just
right,
block and
right.
then look around to like try and regain my awareness of
Mm.
like what's going on.
So you are trying to
So I
do it
probably
here, right? Like with the block, but it's just again how you're doing it. I suppose I guess is the thing because it is very common
yeah,
for players
probably
to
a bad
say
habit.
exactly right. You know it because it does look like you're fairly lost in this fight. You know, you kill the Mei, and then
Oh
from
yeah.
there you don't know where to go. So yeah, that's I guess the number one key thing here so far is again regaining awareness by wall climbing to high ground, not wasting block, and then looking around you. Of course, when you are blocking,
Mhm.
so like if you do actually need to block. Again, whether it's because someone's going on to you or because you need to finish a kill, you are in third person, so you can just see more. So yeah, that's
Mhm.
something nice as well that you can do. Okay, we'll
That
see
might
here.
be a habit I also brought from Brig, because like I like Brig's my main support,
Right,
so
right.
I'm used to like popping shield to like get wider FOV and like
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
look around corners and stuff.
yeah,
So
yeah.
it might just be a habit that came over.
Probably, yeah. I will say as well. On dive characters, so again, this isn't specific to hazards. This also applies to Winston and Doomfist. But you'll have clear up times and you'll have clear down times. So your uptime there, how was your uptime there in the beginning of the fight? What would count as uptime at the beginning of that fight there?
Uptime is me using wall and slash
Yeah,
to get that first kill.
yeah, get that first kill, right? So that's your uptime. That's when you're doing stuff, right? And the advice I give is that when again you have like these, I guess, peaks with uptime here and these lows with downtime, use these lows to again regain awareness, right? So again,
Sure.
that can either be
Yeah.
blocking on hazard, but every single dive hero in this game has downtime. So when you're deflecting as Genji, you're doing nothing mechanically. Therefore, you can look around. When you're recalling as Tracer, you're stuck in an animation. Right? That gives you time to think. When you're slamming out as Doomfist, when you're defense matrixing as Diva, jumping out as Winston, blocking as Hazard, every character in this game, every dive character has downtime where you're mechanically not doing anything. So that gives you a little bit of
Right.
time to think more in fights. Is a bit of advice I give practically to dive characters in general. But yeah,
Yeah. I think one of the things I definitely need to work on tank is the. I also watched your SEX video, and
right, yeah,
I suck at the scout part. I mean, I probably suck at all the parts, but the scout part in particular, like I get lost very easily, and I don't know where my team is. I don't know where the enemy team is.
yeah, no, yeah. I think that again that I guess idea was mainly I think that was sort of like baiting and stuff. I don't even know what that video was on. I can't lie, that was like 2 years ago. But
Sure.
yeah, I do talk about scouting in general, you know, but when playing against them with dive. So yeah. Okay. Okay, we'll see here. Yeah, fine. Slash is fine. Nice kill. Okay. Clean up a point. Alberto Slash. Fine, fine. Okay. Alright, we'll see here. Okay.
This point goes pretty well as well.
Alright.
Although I think I do some dumb stuff.
So, small thing here. So you do eventually do it, right? So I'm better late than never. Better late than never is the saying. But why not immediately go high ground here from the get go?
Um, I'm not sure.
Right. So
I guess I felt like I'd be too far in front of my team, too far away from my team.
why do you feel like that's a bad thing? Why does that worry you?
Because I probably bad experiences of like I do that and then I die. I get slept and die or something.
Right. So I guess this is the how do I phrase it here? So if you go over here, um, this how would you describe this position?
Close but safe.
Right. I think that's a pretty apt description of it, right? Because
Yeah.
these guys have they have two options, right? They either ignore you and ignore your angle and try and go past and try and go for your backline, in which case you have a free engagement. You just catch them, right? Very similar to what you did against the Mei. Or they try and go onto you. In which case you just drop off the high grounds, take their mega,
Right.
and now they've given up this sort of bridge position, which is good for your
And
team.
my team can walk up. Yeah.
Exactly, right? So again, this is really important to adapt or notes when you're playing against fairly immobile comps like this, where it's expensive and it's risky and it's dangerous to come and push you out.
Push me off angles.
Exactly,
Yeah.
right? Now we can switch the comp here, and maybe they're going Sombra Tracer or Freya Sombra, or something like that, which is a bit more mobile, higher damage. Sombra can hack you from invis, and you can actually get punished here fairly easily against the dive comp. But they're not running that here. And frankly, 90% of your lobbies, you're not going to be playing against that. I mean, Sombra's banned in 90% of the lobbies anyways. But yeah, there's something to worth note.
Yeah.
You know, it's adapting your playstyle against the mobility, against, in this case, the mobility of the enemy comp. But yeah, I'm glad to do eventually go to the high grounds. So yeah. Wall's not great. What was the purpose of that wall?
I guess I just wanted to cut off their LOS on me, like the Ana's LOS on me when I jumped.
Right. Yeah, I guess it's a little bit of overthinking. Because you can take a one shot from Ana. It's not that bad of a, it's not that deep.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not worth the 12-second cooldown.
Right.
Yeah.
It would have been much better to have that while I'm up here, have the
Yeah.
cooldown still.
Exactly, right? I'm also pretty sure, yeah, you actually start off full HP here anyways, so you actually lose 150 HP just by standing here anyways. So had you just gone to high ground earlier, you wouldn't have done that anyways.
Yeah.
But yeah. Okay, we'll see here. You'd eventually get hit. Okay. Okay. Okay, sure. Okay. Sure. Okay. So this is micro. And now honestly I was kind of hoping this is stuff that I talk about with like master to GM hazards, because micro against honor is really important. With you, I don't want to like overload you with information and stuff because it's kind
Should
of
I
a
have
dominoes.
like jiggled the corner to try and get her to shoot to sleep or something?
That's part of it, right? Another part of it is the fact that you waste wall, and wall is really, really
Right.
important against honor.
Yeah,
Mainly
makes
because it
sense.
allows you to wall yourself up, right? So actually, I can show you. I can probably show you this at the end of the board. I show this to players sometimes. But when you're against honor, you can vertically wall yourself upwards, so you can shoot the wall at your feet, put yourself upwards, and then bait the sleep dart itself. And if she doesn't sleep dart you, then that's fine. You can drop behind your wall, and then you'll be fine regardless. So again, it's micro that again I've only really seen like top hazard players do. But
Right.
I guess the bottom line here is that wasting wall kind of leads into this bad dominoes
Yeah.
effect where, hey, I want to actually aggress onto these targets because they're close to me, but at the same time, I haven't got my wall. I'm not safe to do that,
Right.
which is really unfortunate. So honestly, here without wall, what could you just do?
Just jiggle and shoot.
Yeah, no, literally, perfect, right? Just jiggle and shoot. Soft engage, right? Just soft pressure them out. That's all you need to be doing here. Instead, you swing wide. So if I back it up here again a little bit and put it on 0.5, you strafe to the right.
Yeah.
Right, whereas again, you should be strafing to the left here, right? So, and you try and strafe to the left here, but it's a little bit too late. So yeah, bit unfortunate. You could also do some wall climb micro, so you can wall climb above here, shoot a little bit. That's fine as well. But yeah, bit unfortunate there, and I would not be surprised if you die for this. It is.
Get out.
Yeah, I'm getting out, thankfully. Again, Wall's a bit panicked. The reason why,
Yeah.
is that the aggression you're taking here, or how do I say it? The visual aggro you're taking here is not high, right? Who is looking at you at this
Right.
position, right? No one's looking at you.
Ana.
Honor's basically, that's just it, right? You can
Yeah.
take honor aggro, and I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
you've got most of your block. If not, you've got all of your block here to be
Yeah, I've
honest.
got all of it.
All
Yeah.
of it, right? You're completely fine. And you're far away, you know,
Yeah.
like they just can't punish you. So, yeah, but unfortunate.
Another wasted wall.
Yeah,
Probably gonna be a theme.
probably. And now we're front to backing in Arissa, right? Which is not ideal. Now your team's killing the enemy backline, which is ideal here, right? Where
Yep.
where can you move her instead?
High ground climb.
Yep, so just climb over here. You can reset your wall climb with a leap, so you can wall climb, leap, wall climb, and get to here. Or you can just wall climb like this, and then okay, yeah, you can walk up the stairs and then wall climb up here. That's fine. You
Okay.
can wall climb up here, then go to this sort of ledge here, and then wall climb. I don't really care what you do here, to be honest. Just get to high ground basically, and try and reach the back line. That's it, really. You can also just path around a little bit deeper and try and go onto me. That could have been fine there as well. No real complaints. Just I don't want you matching an Orisa. Okay. Eh. 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 Sure. Eh. And again, it's like you get
Don't
that
ask me about the wall. Don't ask me about the wall.
and the wall, right? Yeah. So the wall's obviously not great here, right? But again, it's like you get that make kill, and now like you don't know what to do, right? Like, and now as again, you need to regain awareness, right? I don't want you just targeting
Look
onto
around.
the very first thing that you see. Like, a look around you, and again, maybe Mercy Beam is something, again, a visual cue that you can use. So maybe you can look for Mercy instead. Of course, here she's a Valkyrie, so she's probably not going to reach her. But then, where else would you expect the enemy team to come from?
Behind.
Behind, right? So maybe you can leap over here, or go on for the far right, so you can regain awareness, go into the far here. After you kill her, then you can stand here, again, sort of block off the choke, or zone away this sort of choke, while shooting the enemy Orisa. So again, you go doing two things at once, basically. But yeah, not great from an awareness perspective.
Yeah.
Okay, and the wall here is obviously like, yeah,
I don't know.
it might feel like, you're just, because I see these with players a lot, where it's just like, they'll jeopardize their value in the mid fight, just to get value right now. So i.e. you're getting like 40 damage. I mean, she's got armor, but you're getting roughly 40 damage of just instant damage on a 12-second cooldown, which again is not ideal. And it's jeopardizing again what the war could have been later in the fight. But yeah. Okay. Okay, dice. Sure. Okay. Let's see her. Okay. Okay. A wall. Okay, so this is just micro with actually, okay, I'll ask you this, right? What could you maybe do here? How could you like creatively mark this choke? It's a very vague question. But I don't really know how else to put it. How could you like
Creatively mark that choke?
Yeah.
Well, I was playing where I was playing because I was waiting for someone to walk out and then I'd wall them.
Right. Okay, that's fine, yeah. I was mostly like thinking
I could play down below to the left because I can climb up on him.
Yeah, right. So like, that's literally just it, right? Like using your wall climb here. So maybe like again, it's a bit too thin. But again, wall climbing up here, and again like coming like over above them potentially could work. And again, just you get a better angle here essentially. But that's a small thing. But yeah. Okay. Wall's been used. Why not wall behind the Mei when she's in cryo? So run about now.
I guess I was waiting. I don't know. I was waiting for her to get closer to coming out of cryo, maybe.
Right. So,
because if I wall now and she gets to be in cryo for a good duration of my wall, and then they can break the wall.
Right. Okay, I see what you mean. I guess that the main thing here is how do I phrase it? It's like the amount of resources that needed to save the Mei if you wall her off is kind of worth it, right? So if you wall off the Mei here,
sure,
they need to like burn the wall immediately, use their CDs, and then just try and save the Mei. And in which case, right, again, after you burn CDs, then you can look for hazard spikes, and then again, you get a really good engagement off of that. Again, if you look at the triggers here again, like you've got a massive positional advantage here. Coming out this choke is hell. You force out cryo, which is a CD advantage, and you've got an alt Q, or an alt trigger, i.e. your spikes. So yeah, I would be thinking about hard engaging, so looking to hard engage this. And again, you can use a wall, sort of again enhance that that engagement. But yeah. Okay. Alright. And now again we're front to backing in Orisa, right, which is not ideal. And this is where the wall climb thing is like really important, especially after she just waits the spear. Like you can wall climb above her right now and then go on backline, right? Which is actually not something that I particularly thought of, but again that's how you would avoid the front to back against the Orisa. You could also just drop off and then leap away. That's fine as well. But yeah, now it's like I do not want you shooting Orisa here at all. Especially after you pop your wall here, right? Yeah, you pop your wall. It's not the greatest wall in the world. He blocks with Genji's dasher, sadly. But like now again, I'd be wanting, had you got a better wall here, like again, literally here maybe, or again blocking off here would be nice. That would be an amazing time to go on backline. But yeah. Okay, going on main point's okay. It's not terrible. Kiryu's fine. Again, it's weird, right? Because I guess you use a Suzu there to be fair. But my main thing is like, I guess Kiryu can TP away. I'm not sure if Kiryu got TP. I should already used it. Okay, I guess going on Kiryu is relatively fine.
That's just luck though. I didn't track
probably,
that.
Right? Like in principle, like had you tracked Kiryu CDs, this is probably fine to do. Again, you saw Suzu went out there, right? Again, by luck, Kiryu just used TP to get to her Mei. Spikes aren't terrible. It does also cover the choker as well, which is again pretty decent. And again, you're zoning off the Mei from the rest of it. So it's not bad spikes. Yeah, I would look to try and punish these guys here, who are a little bit more killable and easier to punish rather than the Mei on point, especially in Blizzard here as well. But these aren't bad spikes. I'm kind of nitpicking. Okay, let's see here. Okay, sure. Now this is where things get hard.
Yes, this is where we kind of get stalled out, and I think we take the full 3.5 minutes, and I think we get there like with no time on the clock.
Right.
And then on defense, they just kind of run us down.
Interesting. Okay. This is more than reasonable. Fine. Right, and then you see that wall there, right? Even though it got broke, you forced Cryo, or Cryo got forced, right? But Mei wall and Suzu got forced there just by one wall. So even though you didn't kill Mei, it's a big CD advantage, and now you get this cart around the corner very safely, and now you turn it to like a one-fight territory around about over here, just by virtue of how you used your wall there. So that's kind of what I wanted to see a little bit more in the previous fight onto the Mei here.
Sure.
But yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. See here. I'm fine with spiking. Sure. Okay. Yeah, so this is where
just missed my wall there.
This is a little bit of micro here, right? A little bit of micro here, which is fine. So engagement with Mei is completely reasonable. Again, you forced out CDs here, so I'm more than okay with this. Just unfortunately, you're out of ammo right now, and we're blocking a Mei freeze when we've got 600 armor, which is again we're okay for this.
Right.
Okay. Who should the wall be on?
I should probably. Well, I tried. I don't know. I thought the wall was okay if I managed to get the Kiri outside of it, but I guess you can TP in.
Right. How could you use wall here instead?
Just straight up behind the Mei.
Yeah, that's simple, right? Behind the Mei, group her in, do some good damage. Easy, right? You don't need to go through this like complicated wall, like trying to block off the Kiri, who might not even be blocked off anyways.
Right.
So yeah.
Yeah, she ends up not being.
Yeah, not great. I mean, so far, honestly, your play looks above gold level, but your walls have been not great to put it lightly. Okay.
Well, I'm plat 5 right now, but I dropped back down to gold and then got back to plat.
Oh, I see. And now, like again, you turn to a nano boosted Orisa in Fortify in Terra Surge. That could be the most inefficient target humanly possible. You just have to go on, which is again not ideal. And again, it's like a small. It's like a small difference here, or a small change in micro with how you use a wall drastically can change how this fight turns out, because now you can wall off the Mei, equalize out this trade here, get a Genji for Mei trade, which is more than reasonable considering they've actually had to use Nano Boost and Terra Surge just to kill your Genji, and you've only had to use wall just to kill a Mei. Which again could have been nice there, right? But now, again, the wall's not great, you're forced off a high ground, or you're forced to leave here essentially. It does okay. And yeah, you do end up picking the just realize this, you do end up picking the what's it called?
Yeah.
That perk instead of the slash perk. In fairness, they have swapped off Weaver and to Honor, and they've swapped off the swap to go to Soldier here. But I think the Mei alone, just by virtue of the fact that you can actually just get a nice big chunk of damage off into her, would have been really nice. And you haven't been taking that much aggro this game anyways. So yeah. Okay. Fine. Yeah, like had you had more leap damage earlier, you probably would have killed the Mei, which is unfortunate. Okay.
So do they have to be above? They have to be above 250 health at the time I slash them, right?
Yeah. So that's why like again, doing on these targets are not as efficient because they need to be full HP for it to actually work out.
Right.
Whereas you got a little bit more leeway against Mei, Torb, Weaver, etc. So yeah. Okay. Leaping out, that's fine. There was one position that you could have maybe leaped to, so it's around about here. Where could you maybe leap to?
Up left.
Yes, right. Why up here?
Because no one can get me up there and without having to go all the way around on the stairs.
Right, exactly. You know, what was your intention, or why did you actually end up leaping back here?
Well, I just leapt out because I figured fight was lost, regroup,
Right. Yeah. I actually
get
like.
outlive.
I think it ends up being fine because your team's clearing the Kiriko, and you end up clearing her too, so it ends up being fine. But yeah, I think even with the Kiriko here, I think again it's more than reasonable, I think, to actually go here. And again, if the team walk forward, or if these guys, Orisa, Ana, Mei, etc., if they walk forward, punish them. If not, you just stay here, shoot, and they just can't do anything about you, right? And again, if they want to
Yeah,
come
I
and
think
get
I
you,
do end up playing up there, maybe even next fight.
hopefully we see that. It ends up being fine there because you force out Kiriko there. Okay. But inadvertently, right, you end up giving that Orisa a ton of space, right? If I zoom out, because we see your POV here. But if you zoom out here,
Right.
Orisa walks, Mei walks.
That lets their entire team walk
the
up.
entire team walks, right? Whereas again, had you been here, I guarantee you, especially at this level, but I guarantee you, regardless of the level, these guys are going to be looking at you. Because they know
Right.
that if they walk forward, that Ana's going to be in risk. Mei's going to be at risk, especially considering she just used cryo. This person's going to be at risk too, to some extent. But yeah, not something to at least think about or consider. Okay, let's see here. Yeah, spear. Okay, where should you move to?
I could have just maybe walked in the door here left and gone up that left aisle, maybe towards their back line.
Yeah, not exactly what I thought of, but that could definitely work. Yeah, again, it's the same principle that I was thinking about with the other solution that I was going to give. Where, again, you're avoiding the Orisa, right? Any single time you find yourself shooting an Orisa and front to backing, do you know something's going... The alarm bell should be ringing in your head subconsciously. That, you know what, I need to stop shooting the Orisa right now. Because I'm not getting value for this, you know? So, playing through here...
Is that pretty general with, like, most tanks, or are there some tanks that it's okay to be...
Yeah, it's a good question. So, generally, like, I guess some exceptions might be... So, Malga's the biggest one I can think of off the top of my head, because your sustain is linked to how much damage you do, and how much damage you do will just do more damage to tanks. So, Malga's kind of the exception to that to some extent. Of course, there'll be cases where you will actually need to go on backline, which is again sort of complicated, but those will be in mid fight anyways. Zarya, you can look to beam target. You can beam Orisa, but again, when possible, look to try and reach squishies. Right, so like literally, in most of the time, it's not great or it's not ideal to just face tank the enemy tank, unless you just flat out win the frontline matchup. So again, if you're playing Malga into Doomfist, then yeah, it's actually completely reasonable to just look to burn the Doomfist as much as you can, because he's just so squishy, and Doom's never going to dive your team if you're constantly forcing out the Doom as Malga. But yeah, generally, like even if like on paper, Zarya counters Orisa or Ramattra counters Reinhardt. Like, I'm still going to advise against punching a Reinhardt as Ramattra or beaming an Orisa as Zarya. So yeah, I'm still going to advise against it. But especially if it's disfavorable for you. So again, if you're playing Hazard here, you need to be looking for something else rather than just again shooting the enemy tank.
Right.
But yeah. The other solution as well. Where else could you maybe move to?
I mean, I guess I could try and go through over on the right, but right.
What makes you hesitant about going here?
It just feels too far, too long.
What makes you think that?
I don't know. It just was my gut like I needed to be doing something sooner, but I guess getting a better position might be more worth.
Right. It's again, you're prioritizing value now rather than setting yourself up for value later. Because let's say you went through here. You can go through here, that's fine. You can go through here, that's fine as well. If cart, it depends what cart is really. So if cart's a little bit, I think honestly you could go through here and force cart, right? And look at
Right.
this,
And
right?
they all have to turn around, and
Exactly.
Arissa's gonna have to come running back.
And then once they turn around and come back for you, where do you move to?
High ground.
Yes, right? So leap over here, that's the most obvious one. You can also just leap behind. I mean, this is less good because you can't really reach their backline as much. But you could, again, any high ground's fine. Again, this is probably the best one to use, right? And you've just created about 5 trillion acres worth of space for your team. Now, there is a little bit of nuance to this because if you're playing again, if you're in really high elo and the enemy Arista sees this, she will just sort of take the 5v4 while you're busy flanking
Right.
around.
Kill my backline before
right.
I can get set up.
Right. Which is kind of the nuance for it. So again, I wouldn't worry about this too much at this sort of elo because again, there's bigger fish to fry. But again, the counterplay to that would be, hey, if Arisa's playing really far away, like she's playing super far away, then I've actually got the time to be able to walk around here because Arisa can't just walk on my backline if you're super far away. I'm playing a lot of distance, so that's the nuance there. But I guess the broad idea is again avoiding the Arisa. Oh god, is the general broad idea here. Okay. Right now you're 140 HP. Again, front to backing a Mei Arisa. Like this is not what the character's built for. Also okay. It's pretty good actually. Splits off the Mei. Okay. Okay, sure. I assume that leap was for the Mei, right?
Yeah. And then I lost track of her, and I was like, "Fuck it, I'll just slash the Arissa."
yeah. I mean, at least again, I appreciate the intention to go for the Mei because that was reasonable. Again, Mei's got no cryo. Go for the Mei. Makes sense. I've got no real complaints about that really. Okay. Where do you go to now?
High ground.
Yes, top right. So we'll see where you can move to, or maybe top left if they give up space here. But we'll see where you can go to, or you can even again go left side here. Ignore the fortify. Go through here again. Just avoid the Arisa entirely. Maybe you can move through here as well, and again just try and play wide. I like there's a phrase I like using here. Actually, from a while ago, I was coaching a Winston on this map on this specific part of third point, and I was telling him to like widen the map, right? Because the map is more than just this big ass lane down main, and it's more than just this one lane. Like, use the actual map here to your advantage. So we'll see where it goes here. No blocking. Okay, wall's okay. Again, it boops the enemy Kiriko a little bit forward. It gives you a kind of a trigger. There we go, nice. Some attempt made there, but again, you're straight back to front to backing an Arisa, right?
Yeah.
So, this leap's good. I don't mind it. Where should you move to? From here. The options.
Well, I know what I do, but I think I probably... No, I don't have wall or slash, so I think actually going back around left towards my team is okay.
Right, so...
Although I can just climb high ground.
Yeah, right, so if you go here, we'll climb up here, go up here, and look at this, we avoid Arisa entirely, right? And we just saw Arisa's directly behind us. Now, for this Arisa, we want to we want to force you out. If I'm Arisa right now, I want to force you out, make sure you're low. I want you to match me. I do not want you getting to this high ground here at all. And in fact, that's what, if I'm coaching this Arisa, that's exactly what I'm going to say. Prevent this guy from getting to high grounds. But you actually just give it, you give her what she wants, right? You turn around, and you front to back her again.
Yeah, I should have just
She spins you into a corner. She just gives, in fact, if I'm this, I don't know why she leaves you here. She should be brawling you. I would spear you straight into a wall, force you out, put you in this corner, and straight up brawl you and bully you. So I don't know why she just gives you the space.
Well, welcome to Gold/Plat.
yeah.
Oh, I didn't go high ground? I thought I went high ground.
You didn't go high, yeah.
I go right back to shooting the fucking Arisa.
Yeah. Is there, when did you play this game? If you remember, it was last night or something like that.
2 days ago?
2 days ago. Do you remember why you just ignored top left here?
No.
No.
It seems very obvious that I should be going high ground here. And I get there at some point.
Yeah, we'll see when that is because you do eventually cap the point here. I guess again this has been the consistent theme so far is when you've done something. So either again when you've done a cycle, and when I mean by cycle, I'm saying when you've done an engagement with your leap, right? We saw on the Mei first point attack, we saw second point attack 2, I think onto the Mei as well, and now we're seeing it again here onto the Kiriko where you slash onto the Kiriko, forced her out. That was a good soft engage. That was actually really nice. You forced her out, forced TP, got some space. But it's after that, it's that stuff that you do after that's really perplexing. And this is it here.
Yeah, I get.
Again, you just you've done your job almost. You've done part of your job, but again, you just go straight back to autopiloting down main, which is unfortunate.
And I think, well, I guess that's why I go high ground. I found a soldier.
Yeah, so you do actually go high ground here eventually, right? But you would have had better LOS had you gone here and gone
Right.
probably a cleaner
Yeah.
engagement, for sure.
Right.
But yeah, block's okay.
I think part of the reason I'm getting lost is because I think what I was trying to focus on this game was like the triggers things, like
Right,
soft
right.
engage until you see a trigger. So I was trying to work on that.
Because
But
the
then
thing,
like after I see a trigger and go, then I'm like, oh well, now what?
yeah. And it's funny too because I think you are doing like you are like looking for triggers. Again, the Mei was a great kill and first point attack. That Kiriko was a great example of you soft engaging there and looking to skirmish for triggers. That has been actually okay so far. But yeah, I would agree. I think after that, you don't really know what to do, or you get a little bit
Mhm.
lost in the source. Thankfully, again, you do go better late than never. You do go onto the soldier here. Block is okay, but he's not like 1 HP. Like he's still got like a 60
Yeah.
HP here. So a shot here plus a block would be nice. But yeah, small micro there. Okay, that's your Kitsune. No Steep Dot Spin. Okay, so okay. This is just micro here.
The wall was just panic wall. I don't know.
Yeah, so Sleep Spin used. I think I had Sleep Dart being used there by the enemy Honor. I go to our POV. Right.
That's something I never do. Is like
Yeah.
I'm terrible at tracking like the important cooldowns. Like I've never like almost never unless it's like she uses it right in front of my face.
Right. I mean, Sleep Dot's got a very distinct, like, sharp sound when it's
Yeah.
deployed. So hopefully you should be able to hear it in the midst of a fight, because I just heard it right there. But yeah, I mean, the more I guess you train yourself to look for that kind of thing, or if you've got like because if you're already trying to look for it, you will just find it, or you'll just it'll naturally come to you anyways. It's already in your mental template or your mental framework about looking for triggers. Because again, as you mentioned, right, like Sleep Dart is a key cooldown trigger. It's an absolutely key cooldown one, you know, and that because it enables you to hard engage to go into the honor, and it makes your micro hell of a lot easier, because you haven't got to do some fancy wall tech against a honor
Right.
who hasn't got Sleep Dart.
Trying to juke asleep. Yeah.
Exactly, right? And this is the missed opportunities thing that I think, again, that was brought up at the beginning of the VOD, where Anna's gonna Sleep Dart. You're basically full HP. You're in a great position here. You've got spikes. Again, no Sleep Dart here. No Sleep Dart here at all. Like, you can hard engage. You can drop down, shoot the enemy Anna. Sure, Mei is using Blizzard here. You can leap out of that. That's completely reasonable. And then you can spike afterwards. And then you win the fight, you know? And it's that process. It's the failure to recognize when to do that is probably going to cost you this fight. Because this fight could have gone a lot differently had you again drop down, shoot Ana, leap away, spike after. So I don't know what you're going to do here, but we'll see.
I think I end up getting lost in this fight as well.
And I would not be
Another
shocked.
Fight where I get lost.
I would not be shocked because this is a blind spikes. I don't know what you're spiking here. I have got no idea.
I was spiking where they were, but no visual confirmation of if they're still there.
Yeah. Who knows? And this is also why I turned off the outline strength too, because here again, this is actually going to land somewhere towards them right now. But in the game itself, you don't know that. Like this is a blind spikes.
I have no idea.
Yeah. Okay. Ends up being decent. You get the Mei there at least. Flash honor.
I just get lost.
So yeah, this is micro. So this is how do I say it? This is very similar to, think of this like, again, I mentioned this just now, right? But here I would drop first and then leap away. It's similar to how on Winston you would drop from high ground to low grounds, do like Tesla cannon, like shoot your Tesla cannon,
that makes sense.
jump away. Very similar thing on Hazard here. So yeah. Again on Bull it would look like pole driving in and grappling out. So
right.
Yeah. Micro that, and again, of course, like the leap itself is also very awkward because, especially in these tight ranges, it's super awkward with the leap. And again, you haven't got an escape necessarily.
I ended up rebinding leap to right click instead of shift because that way I found I can like double click it way quicker and easier, which makes those short slashes. I've had better consistency with them.
Okay, that's good. That's good to know at least. Okay. But of course, I'm not gonna forget the wall here too. The wall is also wasted, right? The wall, you weren't blocking off any aggro there. That wasn't causing a trigger. It wasn't defensive. You weren't blocking off any aggro. Again, like a sleep dart or something like that. nothing here, right? And if I look at this Honest POV, she gets sleep. She just gets sleep dart back quite quickly, and she has it already because of Kasune. And then misses a sleep dart against you, I think, or just tosses it into the void. And again, using a wall becomes a lot more useful for that. So you can wall yourself up, or again wall the honor away, or do a wall like this, maybe split off the honor and the Mei like this, and then look to get a kill onto the Mei just by shooting. You know, don't underestimate your gun. But yeah. Okay, wall's good. I actually like the wall there. Nice. Splits off the Orisa. Okay, nice cover of the wall. Okay, not bad. Okay. Again, I do not.
Don't know why I'm shooting the Orisa. I died.
Yeah, it was going so well.
Free backline to my right.
It's going so well. And it's like, oh, Mei just dies, right?
I think I was waiting for my slash and didn't realize that I got it back already.
Yeah. Which again might be a visual cue thing because then you're in your own Kitsune, so you go back fairly quickly. But
oh
yeah,
sure.
Been unfortunate. Okay, guys, do it. Okay, better late than never. That's unfortunate. She just pulls you off. Ah, sucks. Pull there is okay. All right. Okay. Sure. That's unfortunate that you leap to the high grounds. I see what you're trying to do there. That was fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm slowly getting better with the another wasted wall, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm getting better with the slash, getting a feel for it more.
What should you do here?
I should probably just back up to the high ground behind me where I have cover and just because the fight is lost, right?
Well, is it?
No, I guess not.
What
I could.
Yeah, go on.
I don't know why, but I felt like in the moment, like the fight was lost, and I wanted to like try and regroup. But looking at it now, I could definitely like jump over to the top of the truck or something.
Right. So leap over here.
Put kill threat.
Exactly, and put
kill
some
threat on their backline.
Yeah, put some kill threat onto the Kiriko. Do the exact same thing once anyone coming back from spawn. Right, make the Mei look at you. What else could you do here as well? Considering you have, you also have you basically have all your cooldowns.
I could just straight engage on the Kiri.
Yeah, you could do that. You could just engage into the Kiri. How would you engage into the Kiri?
Well, maybe the Kiri isn't a. I guess I could wall off the backline, the Kiri Mei, and try and get the soldier. I didn't realize he was below me. Or the honor, I mean, sorry.
It's honor, yeah. That's reasonable. Yeah, you could do a wall here, try and get the squishy down here. That's fine. You could also just try and back off a little bit and then leap forward to try and catch the Kiriko. It's fine as well. A multitude of different things, right? But the point here being
lots of good options, and I chose the bad one.
yeah, that's the nice way of putting it, I suppose. We're spamming here, right, and the wall's just no use out of the wall, though. Obviously,
I think the wall was a mistake. I meant to shoot it onto them, and it caught the wall there.
Yeah,
because I was like jiggling, and so didn't mean to put the wall there, but it still wouldn't have been a great wall to just shoot it and run away.
Yeah, exactly, right? Like, if you're gonna wall the backline here, make sure you're actually following up off of the wall, or your team's pushing the wall with you. Yeah, been unfortunate there. Okay. See here? Okay. And again, it's like, you can see a Kiriko here, but we've been front to backing the enemy front line for a decent amount of time. We're not pushing our angle here. We're not in an aggressive but safe position. We're not putting any threat onto the backline here. Like, this isn't terrible, what you're doing. It's just a missed opportunity. And I think this is a great case, or a great sort of example showing it here. But I guess the question becomes, what should you have done? And why didn't you do it?
I mean, I should definitely be looking to try and like posture up so I can get onto their backline.
Right. So just
get to this other higher platform,
Yeah.
and like see what's going on at least. You know, get them to look at me, maybe.
Right. You could even leap over here, right? And again, this would draw 3 people of attention all at the same time. And you've got cover here to use, and you've got a mega, and they can't come and chase you out. And again, you can see everything, and you've got full awareness of the fight. So again, going here would have been really, really nice to see.
Yeah, I think I struggle like when I'm in like a VOD review and like taking the time to like look, I'm like, okay, it makes sense, I can see it. But like when I'm like it feels like a lot of time when I'm in game, like if I try that sort of thing where like I go and like I'm like harassing their back line, I'm trying to draw attention. I'll jump over there, I'll draw their attention, I'll like put kill threats on them, and then like but then like my back line will die in the meantime. So I feel like I'm not doing enough a lot of time.
Yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah.
like
Um,
just like harassing their back line looking for kill threats. Like if I'm over there on the left and then like trying to cook something up, and then like the Orisa May just goes and like kills my team, and I'm like I guess I'm not doing enough. I feel like a lot of time.
yeah, no. That's what players say that. Not just tank players, but some players say that a lot of the time as well about why they don't take certain angles. Like I hear on support as well. Like, oh yeah, like I was just coaching an Eliari player the other week, and it was just like, hey, you need to take this angle because if you don't take it, well, your team's gonna get ran over. And they were like, yeah, but if I leave my team or if I take my own angle, then my team's gonna get ran over in the meantime. And I guess
Mhm.
there's like two things to that. The first thing is that if you do go over here, right, maybe in that case then you don't want to use leap. Maybe you want to keep leap, and I'll explain why. So maybe you go over here initially, and then you go over here, and then if they do walk forward and start, trying to kill your backline, that's when you actually engage into their backline, and you hard engage basically. You punish them for
Right.
doing that kind of thing. Which is kind of I guess the first key point. The second key point is you can actually, if possible, you can force up the enemy Mei here. So maybe
Mhm.
instead you can actually wall the Mei off like this, book off the Orisa, engage onto the Mei, force up the enemy Mei, and then it should be easier for your team to actually
Mhm.
again, how do I say it? Actually not get traded out by the Orisa Mei if you're forcing them up first. But the third point
Mhm.
here as well is map geometry or how your team plays. So here, I have no idea why your soldier is front to backing an Orisa Mei. This is a terrible position for your soldiers to be in right now, and I wouldn't put the blame on you if your soldier's going to be playing like this, because we can both agree this is an awful position for many
Yeah.
a reason. So
The soldier was an interesting one because like he had a ton of kills, but he also had like twice as many deaths as everyone else. So he'd run back from spawn, like get a pick and die.
right, and this might be why
He
here,
was an interesting one.
right? Where
Yeah.
he's dying very commonly because of where he's playing right now, but he's shooting. He's got the honor really low, like you might get a trade there. But yeah, I wouldn't let that discourage you about the angles that you're going to be taking here. But yeah, okay, we'll see here. Okay, okay, and now like again, you can see the micro here, right? Where we're leaping out into open space. The wall's not really great. Again, if you want to engage this, leap, and now you wall in front of you to block sleep dart, or you can wall above you like this, and then straight to the left. Like that's the micro of the character into honor. Again, I wouldn't worry about it too much. It is the second time that we've seen you get slept, and the third time where you should have got slept actually, because again, honor had sleep dart the past fight with
Mhm.
Kitsune. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if you die here. Naded as well, yeah,
I do.
yeah, yeah. And that's just down to micro on your character. Again, playing against honor
Yeah.
with the wall.
Save the wall. So I'm just wasting the wall a lot.
Yeah, yeah,
I
for
need to be
sure.
using it like more in my engages rather than like before, and then I don't have it for when I actually,
Exactly, right?
hard engage.
Exactly. You could even get a really good wall, but if it's 20, 30 meters away and you can't follow up off of it, it doesn't really matter. Same thing with Maywall too. So yeah.
So would you say I should be like, because I've been kind of trying to use the wall like for my team, but should I be like trying like more often using it selfishly, like in my engages, like saving it for when I go in?
What do you mean using the wall for your team? Could you give me an example of that?
Like I've been trying to like wall off, like when their tank or someone's up, then I try and wall off their backline so my team can like maybe get that pick, or like walling off an angle defensively. But I haven't been using it in my like engages most of the time.
Yeah,
I've been like using it to like split their team kind of.
right, right. Wall is a very complex ability because it's so like I'm not gonna say to you that hey, if you wall off 3 people and they stop fight, they're zoned out the fight because your wall is that good. I'm not gonna say that's a bad wall. What I will
Mhm.
say is that to be, especially again, two things, right? Especially into honor, like you need the wall for the engagement basically.
Right.
The
I
second
suppose
thing,
yeah, if they don't have Ana. Yeah.
exactly, right? And I guess the follow up point to that as well, is it's hard, especially in ranked. It's really hard to make good walls for your team. And actually, so far, I don't think we've seen a wall for your team or a good wall for your team. Like first point,
Oh, okay.
the only good wall was again the Mei here, right? When you blocked off over here.
Hmm.
Um, the wall, I think it was like here to block off on LOS was
That
really
was
not
bad.
great.
Yeah.
Right, not great wall. And again, you kind of needed it here. I think you also wasted wall here again. So you think you leap away, then you wall here. Again, not a great wall. So yeah, and then there's I just haven't seen many walls for your team essentially.
Right. Right.
And again, you could have walled the Mei here potentially. We've seen you duel the Mei here, and you just didn't wall off the Mei behind her. You try to do some
Right.
really
Right.
crazy wall, right? There's been many times where again, I think don't overthink the wall.
Bad walls.
Right.
Okay.
Don't overthink the wall. Use it on your engagement. Use it to again block people in. Like this is a. Well, how would you say? How would you describe this wall?
I mean, it's fine. I'll have it back for the first team fight.
Right.
So like this potentially could get us a kill, maybe.
Yeah, I think the wall's fine. It blocks the retreat path. You can actually follow up off the wall. You're not putting yourself in danger. Yeah, I'm good with this wall. Right. I think it's more than reasonable.
Um,
Okay.
it has been an hour.
Oh yeah. Don't.
If you're free, if you're free, I'd book another hour because I kind of am interested
Yeah.
to see what goes wrong on like defense and stuff. Up to you though. Otherwise, we can come back. I can come back another time as well.
Yeah, yeah. I've got actually. I'm supposed to have a session right now, but I had to delay it by 20,
Oh,
30
okay.
minutes because usually I go a little bit over, just to cover some bases and answer questions and stuff like that. So
Okay.
basically I've got a session in 20, 30 minutes. But
Okay.
but yeah,
So you call this one whenever you're ready.
yeah, yeah. We'll finish attack, do a quick summary.
Okay.
And then
Okay.
yeah. Okay. So backline, I really like this path thing here, right? So this is actually really, really good. Like you path again away from the Orisa. And then again, you're actually able to reach backline and close the distance really nicely. So that's really good. This is probably the best fight that we've seen so far from you in terms of, again, reaching backline and not front to backing an Orisa. Of course, she just ignores you. That's
I mean, I got kind of lucky. Yeah,
she
she
just
just
ignores
walked
you.
back. Like I could
Yeah.
have very easily end up stuffed in there front
Yeah,
backing
yeah.
on wrist. I got lucky.
Right. But at least again, I guess your mindset with what you do, I guess you capitalize on the mistake well. So, I'm not gonna complain. I'm not gonna complain about that for you, at least. Okay, we'll see. And that's also why I suggest as well that, like, again, wider pathing, like going in this area, like Orisa cannot stuff you here. She just can't.
Right.
Or it's a lot harder for her to do so. Whereas again, here or let's extend here. She can actually stuff you a little bit easier. So yeah, one in the map on
Yeah,
purple.
surprised the fight we finally win is the one where I managed to find a engage on the back line instead of
Yeah,
just
right.
front
Exactly.
to back.
Okay, I should see a wall there as
So
well.
I was trying to I heard the Mei and I was like trying to find her is why I went on that weird loop-de-loop.
Right.
And then just unfortunately she was like was also flanking and managed to get around behind.
Yeah. Okay, Honor just dies there, so I guess that's why you don't have to use wall. Okay, sure. Alright, we'll see last fight here. Okay. Like a little bit actually, because Snake Blizzards.
I think it's just kind of chaos at the end. It devolves into
This looks
what
like
overtime
very
devolves
chaotic,
into
yeah.
a lot.
Yeah.
So this is me trying to find the
Mei,
I don't know why I
yeah.
did that. I was already out of LOS.
I would not spend time chasing the Mei. The reason is you could be set up, like, over. You can stand over here. You can stand over here. You've got very clear engagement on either choke here, depending on where you stand. Like, or even here as well. Yeah, there's many aggressive but safe positions to play. And Mei is not easy to force out here because she's too far away, and she's not that dangerous at the moment, or she wasn't at the time when you were chasing her. So I'll just leave Mei for the time being. If you do see her come back, so maybe you're standing over here and you see her come back to your team, then maybe it's worth, again, you can zone off the backline with wall and then leap back to the Mei, and then you can again clear the Mei. But yeah, I wouldn't invest this amount of time trying to chase her else. It's kind of what she wants, if you think about it, right? She wants you to chase her, because she's drawing the attention from 2 or 3 people away. Okay. Yeah, just shoot the Mei. Just don't bother leaping. It's too close to leap here.
Yeah.
Sure. Unfortunate wall there. Again, I think the wall was reasonable there to block the Orisa.
Just missed it a bit.
Slight decline. I mind them. There's not too much to say about Honor Sleep there.
Just kind of chaos.
Yeah, it's very chaotic. It's kind of a dominoes from, like, again, you could have you've gone backline a little bit. You could stage backline there
Right.
essentially instead of going for May. We will see here. Okay. Sure. Fine. Perfectly reasonable. Sure. Go wide, go wide, go wide. Go wide. So, this is the thing, right? Where what's the likelihood that you can punish May here?
Not likely. She's gonna pop out and wall.
Yes, right?
Or no, she might have wall. I don't know.
Um,
She just used it.
I think I'll face it this differently instead. Is it dangerous to punish May here?
Yeah, in front of all of them, where I can
Yes.
get slept, speared.
Exactly, right? So I was like, this is what I was saying, like, widen the angle here, essentially. Like, if you force Cryo, like, she's not going to be playing that aggressively with Cryo. So widen the angle, flank through here, or go up here and then try and get an engagement here, and then you can leap onto the soldier, and that's a free kill. You could also just do the exact same thing from here, had you had vision onto the soldier. I'm not sure if I think the Cryo might block your leap and make it a little bit janky. But yeah, again, widen the angle here, essentially. I would not want to front to back here. And you're going to get sucked up by Terror Surge. Don't block it, don't block it. Just jump away. Take high ground. Leave, you know? Don't front to back the Orisa. All's okay. Again, leaps not. And too close. You can walk, I think you can walk from above the May wall.
Yeah, it was janky for like I tried to climb it and I like the climb didn't work, so I just fucking walked around.
Right. Okay, we'll do your probably spike's probably one. We'll do a quick summary.
Yeah, we end up capping.
Okay. I'll say first thing. Okay, we'll say this. I'll say like aggressive or taking and optimizing. Optimizing aggressive but safe spaces. So again, like widening the map on third attack earlier. And then what else to that as well? Oh yeah. Playing positions such that it's hard and risk enemies to clear you. So an example of that would be again right over here, where you leap away to this high ground here, and while they chase your team down main, it'll be an example of that there that we covered. Another second thing here is probably walls. Wall usage. Again, either use it to for engagement, i.e. Wall off splits, or wall off Ana, either walling itself up, or splitting. You can split the May off, or you can split a target from Ana off as well, which inadvertently blocks Sleep Dart as well.
Right.
And then we'll here as well. What else? Also like visual aggro here as well. So sometimes your walls are just wasted. I think the best example of that was like second point attack, where you're walling for like very little aggro. So the Ana was the only person. Like, the Ana was shooting at you, and then you wall because of that. You know, when in reality again you need the wall for the Sleep Dart, not just Ana shots randomly from distance.
Right.
And then third thing, we'll say regaining awareness. Mid fight.
Use my downtime when I don't have my cooldowns.
Right. So I will say this. Use sound, fire, wall climb, plus wide, OV, LOS, on happening, and then some visual cues as well, like Mercy Beat, earlier points. Okay, those are the three key points. Any questions or queries?
Okay. Nope. I think that gives me some. I feel even if like I knew those were things I needed to work on. It feels good knowing like you agree and say those are like are priorities that I need to be working on. So
Right, right.
it feels good, and I definitely got some good stuff out of this. So thank you very much.
No worries. All right. And yeah, I mean, barring that, I guess good luck climbing. And yeah, see ya.
All right, sounds good. Talk to you later.
No worries.